the Oval Office, a room imbued with history, echoing with the whispers of past decisions. Each president who enters carries the weight of the nation on their shoulders. Their choices, etched into the fabric of time, shape the destiny of America. From the battlefields to the economy, from diplomacy to social change, presidential decisions reverberate through generations. This essay explores some of those pivotal moments, offering a glimpse into the courage, foresight, and at times, the controversy that have come to define the American presidency. These stories are not just tales from history books. They are vivid reminders of the power of leadership, the complexities of governance, and the enduring spirit of a nation constantly evolving. Join us as we journey through time, revisiting the bold moves of US presidents and their profound impact on the course of American history. In 1794, the fledgling American Republic faced its first major crisis. The young nation, still finding its footing after the Revolutionary War, was confronted with a significant internal threat that tested the strength and resolve of its new government. Farmers in western Pennsylvania, angered by a federal tax on whiskey, rose up in defiance. This tax, part of Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton's plan to centralize and stabilize the national economy, was deeply unpopular among rural farmers who relied on distilling surplus grain into whiskey as a means of livelihood. The Whiskey Rebellion, as it came to be known, was a direct challenge to the authority of the newly formed government. The farmers saw the tax as an unfair burden that favored the wealthy eastern elites at their expense. Their protests quickly escalated into violent confrontations, with tax collectors being harassed, tarred, and feathered. At the helm stood President George Washington, a man revered for his leadership during the Revolutionary War. Washington, who had led the colonies to victory against the British, now faced the daunting task of maintaining order and unity within the new nation. Washington faced a difficult choice. He could appease the rebels, risking the perception of weakness in a nascent nation. Such a move might encourage further insurrections and undermine the authority of the federal government. Or he could assert federal power, potentially igniting a wider conflict. The decision was fraught with risks, as a heavy-handed response could alienate the very citizens the government sought to govern and protect. Choosing the latter, Washington personally led a militia of 13,000 men to quell the rebellion. This marked the first and only time a sitting US president has commanded troops in the field. The show of force was intended to demonstrate the government's resolve and capability to enforce its laws. This decisive action sent a clear message. The federal government would not tolerate defiance of its laws. The overwhelming size of the militia and Washington's personal involvement left little doubt about the government's determination to maintain order. The Whiskey Rebellion, though brief, established a crucial precedent. The swift suppression of the rebellion demonstrated the federal government's ability to enforce its laws and maintain civil order, setting a standard for future governments. It affirmed the supremacy of federal law and shaped the relationship between the government and its citizens for generations to come. The resolution of the Whiskey Rebellion reinforced the idea that while dissent and protest were part of the democratic process, outright rebellion against federal authority would not be tolerated. This event helped to solidify the power of the federal government and laid the groundwork for a more stable and unified nation. The Whiskey Rebellion also sparked significant political debate. Alexander Hamilton's economic policies, which included the whiskey tax, were designed to strengthen the federal government and reduce state power. This conflict highlighted the ongoing tension between federal and state authority, a theme that would continue to shape American politics for years to come. In the end, Washington's handling of the Whiskey Rebellion left a lasting legacy. It demonstrated his commitment to the rule of law and the principles of the Constitution. His actions during this crisis helped to define the role of the presidency and the federal government in maintaining order and upholding justice. The Whiskey Rebellion stands as one of the early republic's significant milestones. It was a test of the new nation's resilience and its leaders' ability to navigate complex challenges. Washington's decisive response not only quelled the immediate threat, but also set a powerful example for future generations of American leaders. Reflecting on this period of American history, we see the enduring legacy of the decisions made by the nation's early leaders. The Whiskey Rebellion serves as a reminder of the importance of strong leadership, the rule of law, and the delicate balance between authority and liberty in a democratic society. Thomas Jefferson, the third U.S. president, harbored a vision of westward expansion. He believed that America's destiny lay in exploring and settling the vast territories west of the Mississippi River. In 1803, he made a bold move, purchasing the Louisiana Territory from France. This acquisition doubled the size of the United States and opened up a vast, uncharted wilderness. To explore this new frontier, Jefferson commissioned the Corps of Discovery, led by Meriwether Lewis and William Clark. Their mission to map the Missouri River, find a water route to the Pacific Ocean, and document the natural resources and Native American tribes of the region. The Lewis and Clark expedition, lasting over 2 years, was a testament to American exploration and scientific inquiry. It yielded invaluable maps, scientific observations, and established diplomatic relations with numerous Native American tribes. The expedition fueled westward expansion, shaping the nation's identity and forever altering the landscape of the American West. Section 4, Jackson's Veto, a battle against financial elites. Andrew Jackson, the seventh U.S. president, was a man of the people. Born into poverty, he rose through the ranks to become a national hero and a symbol of the American dream. His journey from humble beginnings to the highest office in the land resonated deeply with the common citizens of the United States. A war hero and champion of the common man, Jackson's military exploits, particularly his leadership in the Battle of New Orleans during the War of 1812, cemented his reputation as a defender of the nation. He viewed the Second Bank of the United States as a symbol of elitism and corruption, a powerful institution that wielded immense influence over the country's economy. The bank, with its vast economic power, was seen as favoring wealthy investors and undermining the interests of ordinary citizens. It was a private institution, yet it held significant sway over public finances, leading many to believe that it operated for the benefit of a privileged few rather than the broader populace. In 1832, Jackson took a bold stand against the bank, vetoing its recharter. This was not just a political maneuver, but a statement of principle. Jackson believed that the concentration of financial power in the hands of a few was antithetical to the democratic ideals upon which the nation was founded. His veto message was a fiery indictment of the bank's influence, accusing it of creating a moneyed aristocracy and enriching the few at the expense of the many. Jackson's words resonated with a populace that was increasingly wary of the growing divide between the wealthy elite and the working class. Jackson's veto was a defining moment in American history. It was a bold assertion of executive power and a clear message that the government should serve the interests of all its citizens, not just the wealthy and powerful. This act of defiance against entrenched financial interests solidified Jackson's image as a populist leader. It sparked a national debate about the role of government in regulating the economy. Should the government intervene to ensure a level playing field, or should it allow market forces to operate unchecked? This debate would continue to shape American politics for generations. The Bank War, as it became known, had lasting implications for American politics. It highlighted the tension between populism and centralized financial power, a theme that would recur throughout the nation's history. Jackson's victory over the bank was seen as a triumph for democracy, but it also set the stage for future conflicts over the balance of power between the government and financial institutions. Today, the echoes of Jackson's battle against the financial elites can still be heard. The struggle between the interests of the common people and the power of financial institutions remains a central issue in American politics. As we navigate the complexities of the modern economy, the lessons of Jackson's era remind us of the importance of vigilance in protecting democratic principles and ensuring that economic power does not become concentrated in the hands of a few. The legacy of Andrew Jackson's veto is a testament to the enduring struggle for economic justice and the ongoing quest to balance the scales of power in favor of the many rather than the few. It serves as a powerful reminder that the fight against financial elitism is not just a historical footnote, but a continuing challenge that requires our attention and action. As we reflect on Jackson's battle against the financial elites, we are reminded of the enduring values of democracy and equality. The story of his veto is not just a chapter in history, but a call to action for future generations to remain vigilant in the face of economic inequality and to strive for a more just and equitable society. Section 5. Greenbacks and gunpowder: Lincoln's financial gamble during the Civil War. The American Civil War presented Abraham Lincoln with an unprecedented crisis. The nation was torn apart, and the very fabric of the Union was at risk of unraveling. The stakes were incredibly high, and Lincoln had to navigate not only the battlefield but also the economic front. The survival of the Union was at stake, and financing the war effort became a paramount concern. Traditional sources of revenue, such as tariffs and taxes, were insufficient to cover the enormous costs of the war. The Union needed a steady and reliable stream of funds to sustain its military campaigns and support its soldiers. With traditional sources of revenue dwindling, Lincoln made a bold and controversial decision, issuing a new form of paper currency known as greenbacks. This decision was not made lightly. It was a calculated risk that Lincoln believed was necessary to keep the Union afloat. Unlike previous U.S. currency, greenbacks were not backed by gold or silver. This was a significant departure from the established monetary policy of the time. The value of greenbacks was based solely on the faith and credit of the government, a concept that was both innovative and contentious. Their value was based solely on the faith and credit of the government. This meant that the public had to trust that the government would honor the value of the greenbacks, even though they were not backed by tangible assets like gold or silver. This move, while risky, proved essential in financing the Union war effort. The greenbacks provided the Union with the financial flexibility it desperately needed. They allowed the government to raise funds quickly and efficiently, without the constraints of traditional revenue sources. Greenbacks provided a much-needed infusion of capital, allowing the Union to purchase supplies and pay soldiers. This was crucial for maintaining the morale and effectiveness of the Union Army. Soldiers needed to be paid and supplies needed to be procured to keep the war effort going. The introduction of greenbacks had far-reaching consequences. It not only helped finance the war, but also had a profound impact on the American economy. The use of greenbacks led to inflation, as the increased money supply reduced the value of the currency. However, it also stimulated economic activity by increasing the availability of money. It marked a turning point in American monetary policy, paving the way for a national currency and a centralized banking system. The issuance of greenbacks demonstrated the federal government's ability to manage the nation's money supply, a concept that would later be formalized with the creation of the Federal Reserve System. Though initially controversial, Lincoln's bold financial gamble played a crucial role in preserving the Union and shaping the economic landscape of the nation. The success of the greenbacks helped to solidify the power of the federal government and set the stage for future economic policies. Lincoln's decision to issue greenbacks was a testament to his leadership and vision, and it remains a significant chapter in the history of American finance.